Liberia to go and speak with the young lady who I spoke with in Burabel regarding her visit to Liberia. So stay tuned. When we get closer to LA, downtown LA, I will show you guys, okay? I think it's very important to do a follow-up to this video because she has more to share, and that's why I am doing this video. Although I like driving too. So we move. We are going to continue to drive, although it is actually 1:30 p.m. here. Sometimes there's still somewhat of a traffic. It's not so much the traffic because the traffic really starts at 4 o'clock. But we're heading there, as I've said. We are going there to meet this beautiful young lady. Okay. And of course, let's slow down. As I get closer, you guys are going to find out a little bit about Los Angeles. So for you guys who wants to come to Los Angeles, it's a very busy city that has multiple suburbs. So if you think it's New York, you're lying. If you think it's I'll call it Chicago, you're lying. So you have places within Los Angeles County and even in the Los Angeles city limit that you would think is actually Los Angeles like. So that is downtown Los Angeles. And we're approaching this place, and as always, there's a merging lane here that really gets on my nerves. So you have to like kind of give everybody way because you're gonna get to the wrong place if you don't move accordingly. So take a look. We are almost there to our location to meet this lady, okay?
Take the exit onto West 6th Street.
Oh,
Then keep left onto CA 110.
Thank you for your permission. So, anyway, we move.
Then at the next one, turn right.
Thank you. Downtown, and hey girl, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for the last interview. You guys, I know you have a lot of questions. You really enjoyed this interview that I did with her in Liberia. So I was like, I need to do a follow-up, okay? And so that's why we are here today. So when did you get back?
I got back almost 2 weeks ago.
Oh, do you miss it?
I miss it already.
Why?
Because it's a lot quieter.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a lot quieter. No, LA. No, I'm saying LA is a lot quieter.
Oh, it's not quieter? Okay.
Yeah, I like the hustle and bustle of like.
You do?
Yeah.
You do? Okay, so, alright. So, you came 2 weeks ago and you missed Liberia already. So the last interview we did, a lot of growth. And I got April, really to inspire me. So I was like, I need to do a follow-up.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
So pretty much I'm going to just do a little recap of the interview. How long were you there?
I was there for 1 month.
1 month?
Yeah.
Okay. So give us a little bit of recap from the airport.
From the airport,
The house.
going to the house.
Food, everything. You know,
The good
things
and
that
the
you're
bad?
comfortable. The good and the bad.
The good and the bad.
Okay, yes.
Okay. So, when I got to Liberia, I got out the airport. Luckily, it's not COVID time, so getting through the airport was fairly easy. Got my bag, left. My driver took me to the house. I settled in day one. I came in that night. So I came in that night, and then day one, I went to get my nails done. The next day, I had my hair taken down. I went to get my hair done.
Okay.
So So my whole family was surprised that I was like already doing certain things.
Started.
Yeah, exactly. So because I only had 1 month. Well, a lot of people say it's a long time, but the first time I went there, I stayed for 3 months. So going there for 1 month, this is my shortest time. So I was like, every single day I have to do what I need to do. So I did that for the first couple of days. I went there, nails and my hair done, and then it was New Year's.
Okay.
So I celebrated with the family, and then after a couple days after New Year's, then I started getting into business winners for, meeting up with certain people, connecting with certain organizations, going to certain events.
Okay. So you got your hair done. Talk to us about the prices, because I know in LA to get your hair done, you gotta do that.
Okay, yeah. So since I have my hair done, everyone knows. Well, not everyone knows, but if you live in LA or the United States, something like this will cost like $350, I would say, around that price, because they're so long and they're small. I got this done for $65, and then
There you go.
Exactly, and that's what I gave her. That's not what she asked for. So I
Right,
gave her
exactly.
extra, yeah.
Exactly.
And then there was 3 people doing my hair. It took $5.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah, and when I first got my hair done, I had pink hair. I should have kept it for the holiday, for the Valentine's Day. But anyway, I got pink hair when I was in Liberia, and I like literally called her after I got my hair washed. I was like, "Can I come to your house?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure." And then like I went to go buy the hair, went to her house, and then my hair was done in like 3 hours. She charged me $25. And I gave her
Oh, wow.
$50. Yeah, I was like,
Wow.
yeah,
That's good.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, oh my god, how much it is to do hair? You're like, I tell them it's $4.
Yeah.
Even my hair, to cut my hair, $4.
Wow.
You know how much I paid to cut my hair here?
Here, I don't know. I know some guys like, yeah, and I was gonna say starting price is at least $20 for like just like I don't know, touch up. I don't know much about haircuts, but I know that $4 is nothing compared.
$4, and I kept cutting my hair every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Even 1 week and a half. Did you come last week? I know.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start this over. Thank you for meeting with me
Thank
again.
you for having me.
In LA, Los Angeles, city of Los Angeles. I know a lot of you viewers want to come to LA, but I don't know. So we did an interview. I've already talked about this briefly, but can you just tell us a little bit more about your drive from the airport? Because people always want to know, like, how is it like?
Okay, so I came in at night.
Okay.
And as of right now, they're doing construction on the road.
Okay.
Which is gonna benefit obviously in the future.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you should know the road and just be very careful.
Okay.
And things like that. Slow down, take your time.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure you have a good car, because you don't want to break down on that road.
Right, on that road at night.
And because they're doing construction, the road is forever changing.
Right.
So you just have to be very cautious and pay attention to whatever signs they have up and things like that.
Okay. So you guys were not scared at all to drive? Most people think, I'm going to stay at the hotel until daylight. But you drove.
At night, yeah, I'm not really that scared.
People are so scared.
Yeah, I understand, but it's just like there's other people on the road. You're
Okay.
not the only one, and I feel like if I see 100 people doing it, I can do it too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And like you said, if you have a good car,
Yeah.
you should be fine, right?
Yeah, just weigh your options. I know one time when we were taking my dad back to the airport, they got a new car, and the car hadn't had like a jack and a tire in it. So my cousin who was driving us, he kept expressing that he was very nervous.
Okay.
And things like that. So we just prayed all the way to the airport and things
You gotta
like that.
pray.
And that flight was at different timing, so
Okay.
it made a little bit more sense. But those are things to definitely
Look out for.
To look out for, yeah.
Okay. So you heard her. Driving at night isn't for everyone, but she did. She drove from the airport and she went all the way to Breville, right? You didn't
All the
stop
way to
anywhere
Breville.
else to Breville? Okay. The other question is, a lot of young people want to go to Liberia, all right? They were probably born in the U.S. Their parents are half Liberian or full Liberian, but they don't know this place. Like,
Right.
how can they prepare? Like, why should they go back home? Like, why?
I think it's just very because I can talk for days on that, so I'm trying to condense it.
Right.
But it's very beneficial for yourself to know where you came from, where your parents came from. I think it gives you a different outlook and aspect to your own life. especially if you're young, at least the age group I'm in, they're either going through or just went through where they're like trying to find themselves. That's natural for any young adult, right? So if you go there at a young age, it'll give you a lot of exposure, and it may be able to, help you in your adulting, I'll say. I do wish I came like as a young adult, but I do wish I came even younger, because I know I would have gotten to see a different aspect at a young age, and that would have been even more beneficial. So I always say the younger the better. If your parents were born there, or even one parent, or even a grandparent, go and see, because you're probably sitting at home and they're telling you these stories, so go and see for yourself. Go and see for yourself. And then also, if you have anybody saying anything negative, then you can say, no, I've been there. You can defend what's going on, instead of getting outside information on what Africa or what Liberia, your country, looks like, or the climate of the country.
That's a very good point, because a lot of parents who came over here maybe 30 years ago, 40 years ago, will call me and say, hey, I have a child or children who have been in the U.S. or born in the U.S. and are not looking forward to going back home. How can I help them? How can I encourage them? And I said, look, it starts with you. You have to gradually let them know. And then another thing I tell them is, you don't have to go for months if you're trying to introduce your kids. Like, how was it for you? The first time, was it you went just by yourself, right?
I went with my dad, and then he left halfway through my trip, and then I stayed.
Okay, so you stayed, you figured things out, and like you said, at a later age versus younger. So we do have a lot of people your age, my age, who are looking to go, but they say they are scared. What can you tell them?
There's really nothing to be scared of. There's nothing to be scared of. I mean, I know the world is a big place, but just like even here in LA, there's certain things you just naturally have to be cautious of. Same thing in Liberia. Granted, if you're not raised in that country, do listen to what the people are telling you, and just take that in and know how to maneuver in the country. It's not hard. I mean, don't go in places that look sketchy at night.
Just like you wouldn't do in the U.S.
I mean, I wouldn't do that in LA either, or anywhere that I've been. So certain things like that, there's nothing to be scared of. And if you're young, if you like to party, if you like to eat, those are things that drove me to go, because my dad would cook the food, and I'm like, oh, I want to go there and see, and I want to get more in depth into the cuisine of Liberia, because there were so many, and I only experienced a couple dishes growing up, so I wanted to go there and see how they cook it, because I love cooking in general. And then, like I mentioned before, the party scene or the nightlife, if you like to hang out with your friends or meet new people or be social, or even if you're not that social, because you're in a different country, you have the opportunity to just be social with people you're probably never going to see again, or you might see them again, especially if you come back to Liberia, which you should.
That's hilarious. Speaking of food, my favorite is potato greens. I had to pause right there. I was like, cassava leaf, that's my sister's favorite. What's your favorite Liberian dish?
My favorite is cassava leaf.
Cassava leaf.
Specifically with a lot of fish and seafood, because I love seafood, especially the blue river crab.
Oh, God.
I love it. Cassava leaf,
You're making everybody hungry. So do you cook cassava leaf? Or
I made it recently for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and everybody loved it.
Wow.
The second time I was nervous, because my aunt was coming from Germany, and she's Liberian, like she's real Liberian. So, and she's always cooking, so I was just like, I don't know if she should taste it, but I put everything in there. I put turkey, I put shrimp, crab,
other good stuff, fish,
it.
and all that. That's what's up. Okay, so let's get to the more other serious aspects. Okay, people always say, what changed? What are some of the new developments in Liberia? So around the Breville Belt, like, what would you say about development in that area?
Okay, so in Breville, I know a couple years ago, like maybe 10 years ago, a lot of people tell me that it was just bush.
Okay.
My uncle lives in that area, and it's where he lives is developed, but as you go more into Breville, you see that it's still bush, and people are buying and starting to build, and for his businesses, they're coming in.
Okay.
And things like that. So I know 10 years ago, the beginnings of Breville, like once you pass
a lot of bushes.
St.
VOA.
No,
right?
No, like Iron, like
Iron Gate.
Yeah, once you pass there, or no, VOA Junction.
VOA, Iron Gate, G4 Community. Okay.
Yeah, once you pass those, then it's starting to get a little bit more, I guess you can say underdeveloped, but developing, because then when you go in to like the bush where people are building, residents are
coming up.
Are coming up, and then businesses will follow and things like that. You can already see newer junctions forming and things like that.
Okay.
It's developing. There's houses everywhere. I'm surprised myself. Every year I go back, it's like I see like just so much development everywhere.
I so agree. I think I've said this on my channel. Burrillville is within the next 5 years, I honestly see it as somewhere that people would like to really live, because modern people are building, and these community developments that I talk about often on my channel, these things are coming up. Hotels, resorts, apartments, and
entertainment
centers,
recreation centers.
So
I was very shocked.
So those,
outside of Monrovia a little bit.
Okay. So talk to me. So those who have properties in Burrillville land, what can you tell them? Like, how can you encourage them to like start their projects?
Okay, so like we mentioned, in the coming years, the area is going to be booming. So if you start developing now, it's definitely going to benefit you and your kids in the long run, because it's going to be one of the major hubs of the Monrovia metropolitan area, Montserrado County. It's going to be another major hub. So there's a lot of people doing great things in Broadville. I'm hearing, like, every single time I go out there, I'm hearing of more and more development and seeing it for myself. I'm just very surprised and glad that it's happening. So if you're thinking about doing it, you should do it now, instead of waiting until it's already developed and then the price goes up and things go up and things
before
like
you get left behind. You don't want that.
FOMO, the fear of
The other aspect is, we all can live in Monrovia. I keep telling everybody this. So like, Burrillville is a really nice place because they have the ocean. You don't have to necessarily live by the ocean, but you do have that option, right? To go to the ocean and be far away from the busyness of Monrovia. If you just want to come home and relax, that's another place, right?
Absolutely.
So you have property in Burrillville. You're looking to develop it, right?
Absolutely.
So you're part of the development team. The people looking to develop the area. You see, she has a property there. She is looking forward to developing her land. So hey, get on the train, get your stuff developed. What else? So according to you went out a lot. You're young, so obviously you should go out and dance and have a good time. So what are some of the areas? I know we talked about this previously, but like, you stay longer, so I'm sure you went to other places. What would you recommend? Young folks are like, what do I do when I go to Liberia?
Okay, so did I talk about Calabash? Calabash?
Calabash, yes.
Yeah, but I hear the D is silent, right?
Yeah.
So it's just Calabash.
Calabash.
It's just Calabash. I really like that place for entertainment. It's cool to go with your family, whether it's cousins, sisters, brothers, and things like that, or even aunties, uncles. It's really nice. I like the food, I like the drinks, and I like
chill.
the shisha. So it's very nice. It's by the water. So I've been there in the daytime and the nighttime. Sometimes they have different events, and then they have a good DJ. So that's what I like about them. Other places that I've been to Fusion,
which I don't like. It's not my favorite, but she liked it.
I've also been to, I didn't go to Twister last time. I don't know what really happened to Twister, but anyway. Let me not talk about that. There's a hookah lounge that I really, really like. It's called Smoke Shop. Where is
that located?
It's on 5th.
It's
by the Total. They changed the name of the Total, but it's still Total.
Oh, there's a new owner. So they changed it.
It's a new owner. So
Yeah.
So there's a smoke shop right next to it, and it's owned by a Liberian.
Oh, that's good. We promote Liberian businesses. The Calabash is also Liberian owned. Okay.
So I go in there often. It's a nice little vibe. They have TVs. If you like to watch football, then you could go in there and chill. smoke the shisha. Sometimes in the daytime they have music, things like that. So in these little places that I go to, also the Total that's right there, all of the Total gas stations, they're owned by Liberian now. So yeah.
Wow, really?
Yeah, Liberian family bought it, I think, like a year ago.
That is interesting.
Yeah, so one of the things that I like to do with especially the Liberian owners, if I have the honor of meeting them and getting to know them, I like to drop off like little things. So there's this drink that I drink. You know the mango juice?
Yeah, the one I had at your house. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Liberian made. So I dropped off cartons to both of them.
That's nice.
I said sell it because it's Liberian. Because they also have, the extra juice, which is imported, but it's better to sell our own stuff.
Yes, of course.
Sometimes people don't know about it, or
I didn't know about it until I had it at your house.
Exactly. So I'm always trying to connect.
That's very creative.
Things like that. Even at my auntie restaurant, I brought her a case. I told her to put it in the freezer.
Okay.
She sells it at her restaurant.
So you're promoting this Liberian drink. So why is this so important for us to share Liberian businesses amongst ourselves? Because you see a lot of Lebanese, Indians, all this, people are very collective, but we are not.
I think so we can start to gain pride within ourselves and our products, because something as simple as like we were talking about mango juice, or even like a coconut juice company.
Right.
We have the land and the resources. They're in Liberia. What we produce is really good. It tastes good. I haven't had any bad fruit. Sometimes you get fruit in America.
Yes.
And you
It's
taste
so
it.
rotten.
Anyway, I haven't had any bad fruit or anything like that. So anything that you can produce that's from the land, I think there's a pride in drinking it. I feel, like some type of royalty, like, oh, I'm drinking Liberian
Liberian drink.
Exactly.
I support as a company that produces chocolate, and then of course the palm. We just need to support more of our own brand, and like you said, we do have the resources there to do so.
Exactly.
I encourage Liberians to go into production, because that's one aspect, that's one area we're lacking. Also manufacturing too, that's another thing. And you did talk about waste beads, right? I mean, that's a good idea for you, and I asked you about other opportunities. But as you stay behind, what are some other things that you notice that could be beneficial to the country? For young entrepreneurs, people are like, I want to do something in Liberia here, but I just have no idea. What are some necessities?
Let's see. I think something that can be brought, especially to the Liberian youth, is outsourcing your talent to other places in the world. And because we have the internet, you can do that very efficiently and very easily if they had the tools and sometimes they do have the tools, they just don't have the knowledge of what's out there, what they can be exposed to do that. So like we know, especially living in the Western world, there's a lot of remote jobs that we can get ourselves. Well, there's plenty of places all over the world, India, the Philippines, Australia, that also outsource their remote workers and things like that. So you can live in Liberia, and if you know how to do like graphic design or
that's a very good one
videos,
too.
Photography, or manage a social media account, editing, anything like that, you can do that in Liberia as long as you have, like I said, the resources which you can find or petition for, and get your talents outsourced, and then you could get paid and things like that, or you can create an income for yourself.
That is so true.
If everybody's depending on the government, the government is not making a way for job opportunities and things like that, but it's either yourself or the private sector, like we spoke about before. Either it's people like me, people like yourself that are getting out there and doing development and reaching for different people to start building up your own country, or you can do it yourself by outsourcing the talents that you may already have.
That I really like that point, because my editor, he's actually in Rwanda.
Okay.
I outsource my service to Africa mostly. I did try to look for a Liberian to do my work, but again, I need that consistency. So I think like an entrepreneur who is looking to be in this space, like outsourcing their services, what you could do is to have a talent agency, again, like quote unquote talent. So you provide the internet services, but you get those skills, and then outsource it to like places like Upwork, Fiverr, those places. with those guys or girls working with you, and then you outsource the service and then you pay them. That's another way an entrepreneur
create
can
your own network.
create your own network.
There's so many opportunities. With that being said, you can be, the constructor of a system like that, because that's what Liberia needs.
Yeah.
A system.
Yeah, a system.
In place.
For sure.
Here, if you work downtown City Hall, and like we had COVID, it was easy for them to transition into remote work because we have the systems here. So it just takes somebody coming in and placing those systems, like you mentioned, to get something like that going. It'll benefit a lot of Liberians for the long run. It's a good stepping stone, especially for the youth of Liberia. I know a lot of the university students, they're into like computer engineering and things like that. A lot of people either go into government, I hear, or computer engineering. I think computer engineering is very beneficial because that's what the world is moving to. And as we know, as we're talking about, Liberia's behind in certain aspects. So that's just like already a head start for the youth to get on the world stage for competition when it comes to the job market.
That is true. Another thing is customer service. I was telling someone the other day, I said, look, I train my staff. I do my best to train my staff.
Okay.
To be very professional. Okay. Yeah. The other aspect is if you are developing a human resource business in Liberia, you can provide training and then your staff can work for others. You can outsource that service.
Absolutely.
But a lot of people don't understand. They say, oh, your staff is so professional. How did you do that? I have to do constant training. But now if you have a human resource business, I could just outsource that service with you as a company to say, you know what? Take that. You know what I mean? Like, what can you say about that?
Like a staffing company. Yeah. So yes, customer service is a developing aspect in Liberia, to put it as politely as possible. So customer service is something that needs to be worked on in Liberia. I've experienced different levels of customer service in Liberia. I do know there was one time where I went to a restaurant, and so here's the dynamic in a lot of certain establishments in Liberia. Sometimes it's owned by a non-Liberian, Lebanese or Indian, and then they hire Liberians. And then they hire them expecting them to already have the knowledge of something as simple as a menu or something like that. So I went to this one restaurant, and the girl, she was so young, I felt bad for her, but she didn't know anything about the menu.
Aww.
She didn't know, how to, service me, but she was trying her best, and you could tell. And I was like, how come you don't know, certain things about the menu? And she was like, oh, I just started working here. And
okay.
And I was like, okay. So, I didn't, I let it go. And then we moved inside of the restaurant because we were originally sitting outside. And I witnessed like the owner like talking to the Liberian girl crazy.
Right.
Crazy.
That's another thing that they do.
And I'm like, crazy. And I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, okay, you've lived outside of Liberia. You come here to do business. It's in the customer service, area. So you have to train your staff. So I asked her, I said, how come you don't train your staff? And because I have an American accent,
of course,
then they straighten up.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh wait, she knows. Because it's easy to disguise yourself as an American in Liberia. So I just sat there and I observed that. So I went up and I said something like, why are you treating her this way? And you should train her better.
Exactly.
She's been here for almost a week. One of the days, you should have went through the menu with her. Or something like that. Don't get mad because there's a confusion with our order and things like that, but you have not trained her properly.
Exactly. So whose fault is it?
Right. Because it's always, she's not at the manager level. Exactly. So that's something that needs to be brought to the forefront in Liberia, I think, as far as doing business, because especially if we're talking about more people coming in, especially from the diaspora all over the world, they're used to a certain type of customer service, and it's an easy fix. It's not like Liberian people do certain things with malice when they're working in areas of service. They're not at all. They just have to be trained a different way, maybe a slight cultural difference, or certain things that they may not notice. But we coming in on the outside looking in, we notice those things. And to bring in more tourism, it's better that we prioritize training, proper training, and things like that. Anybody can do it.
As a business owner, you can take. Look, you guys, I take hours to train my staff on the phone. I don't have to be physically there because I've heard feedback about my staff. And it's because, like I said, I have to constantly train my staff, and
they are
it
very
is your
polite,
responsibility.
I've met two of your staff, and they're very, very polite.
Thank you.
Just to throw that in there.
Thank you. So what? This is the last part. What else can you tell our viewers to just close this?
To just close it up, sum it up. If you're thinking about coming to Liberia for development and you're a little scared, you're on the fence, just do it. And if you haven't visited in a long time, go ahead and take a trip.
Okay.
Take, I would say, longer than, or at least 3 weeks.
Okay.
At least 3 weeks. If you have family, or if you don't, try to connect with people in Liberia. Ask plenty of questions so that you can get your feet wet before, you know, fully trying to develop in Liberia. I say go ahead and do it. There's nothing to be scared of.
I know,
Don't
right?
listen to the rumors and things like that. Good things happen anywhere in the world, and bad things happen also anywhere in the world. So don't be scared. There's nothing to be scared of. The people are very nice. The food is good. You'll love the food. I keep talking about the food. You'll love the nightlife. And like I said, again, the people are very, very nice. So.
Thank you so much, and it really has been a great pleasure speaking with you. I look forward to conversing more, to working together to accomplish your vision, and also all of what we are trying to accomplish in Liberia.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Hey everyone, your favorite high chick sister Zoadi, and I am back with the wonderful
Kianya.
How do you say it?
Kianya. Or
okay.
Keke.
Keke is much better for me to say. So you guys, we are here in LA. So you've seen my drive here and, you know, conversing with her. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about different topics. I know you guys are very interested in knowing more about Liberia. It's going to come from the horse's mouth, not my mouth, her mouth. And she's going to shed light on different things. And so yeah, watch out, stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, share, leave a comment below. And be great.